I call this the 2, 3, 4 card trick. Here we begin with a randomized deck of cards. You can have the spectator mix the cards as much as they would like without dropping the cards everywhere. Once they're satisfied with the mixing of the deck, have them choose 2 cards that they feel have a connection with each other, or 2 cards that they think will stick together despite tremendous shuffling and mixing of the packet. So maybe they choose the King of Hearts and let's see, maybe the Queen of Hearts. Okay, now they don't show you this. This is something they see. So they just need to choose 2 cards that they can remember, essentially. So we're hoping that these 2 cards will stick together throughout this entire process. Okay, so maybe they set their cards right there, and then they can mix these cards further if they feel a need, and then just have them deal out 10 random cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Set the rest of the deck aside, we won't need it. And then have them put their 2 special cards on top. Now we're going to randomize these cards, and really all of the decisions are going to be made by the spectator. So the first randomization is called an under-over or an over-under. And you can give the spectator the choice. Would you like an under-over or an over-under? And maybe they'll say over-under. So all that means is you push off the top card, and now this one goes over, next one goes under. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Okay, that's starting to mix the cards a bit, but we're going to go much further than that. This is where the 2, 3, 4 comes in. We're going to deal the cards into 2 piles. And you can have the spectator do all of this, actually. And the spectator is free to choose how to stack those. Left on right or right on left. They want right on left? Okay, that's just fine. Let's do another one of those. Left to right, shuffles. This time, you still want right on left a second time, that's just fine. Now, the important thing to know is you can have the spectator do as many of these as they like. They truly can. They can deal out into 2 piles with random stacking forever, okay, or until they get tired. And then once they've done that, we're going to actually deal out these cards into 3 piles. 1, 2, 3. Do it from left to right if you like. With random stacking from left to right or right to left, it really is the spectator's choice. Maybe they'll choose left to right this time. That's just fine. Let's do another one of those. So we're just dealing into 3 piles, giving them the choice which direction to stack these. Maybe they want to go from right to left. This time, that's just fine. Now, it is true you can do as many of those as you like or the spectator likes. When you're done with that, we can actually deal into 4 piles. And we can ask the spectator, would you like us to stack these from left to right or right to left? Maybe they want to go left to right, and that's just fine. Let's do another one of those. And while you're doing this, you can ask them, think about, do you want to go from left to right or right? This time they want to go from right to left. And maybe for good measure, let's go ahead and just do one more of those. Now, do you want to go left to, left to right or right to left? Right to left. Okay. Now, at this point, we can actually offer to the spectator any number of additional shuffles into 2 piles, 3 piles, or 4 piles. Okay? And so give them that choice. And so maybe they say, yeah, I'd like to do one more left-right, 2 piles. Okay, that's great. How would you like these stacked? Left on right? Okay. Would you like to do any more? You want to do 4 piles again? Okay, that's just fine. Would you like to stack left to right or right to left? Left to right. Okay. Are you content, or would you like to do one more? You'd like to do one more involving 3 piles. Okay, we will do that. Would you like to stack left to right or right to left? Right to left. Okay, very good. Okay, now despite all of that mixing, we are going to see if you happen to choose 2 cards that genuinely have an affinity for each other. Do they actually stick together through thick and thin? Let's find out. So what we're going to do is one final just pulling apart of the cards. We're going to do a Klondike shuffle that deals pairs to the table. This is where you take the top and bottom off as one, top and bottom off as one, and so forth. Okay? Now, a note to you as the future performer. You don't know which cards they chose to stick together, right? They do, okay? And so now at this point, we're going to see if indeed their 2 special cards actually stuck together. Did they stay together? Let's find out. Oh, that's interesting. Those stuck together. Even are those your cards? And they'll say, no, I didn't choose 10s. Okay. Okay. Did you choose those 2? No. Didn't choose those 2. How about those 2? No. What about these 2? No. What about these 2 here? We've got to find your cards eventually. Are those yours? And of course, hopefully they'll be honest and say, yes, those are. Those are the 2 cards that I chose at the beginning that I wanted to stick together through all of this shuffling. And they did. Okay, so that is the performance. So it really just has a few steps to it. Once you know that this procedure works, you can modify it in many different ways to your own liking. Okay, so just to review, you need to have the spectator choose 2 cards. Now, I suppose you could actually have the spectator show you these. If you're concerned that the spectator may lie, that may not be a bad idea. But, you know, if the spectator is trustworthy, that even if they lie, they know secretly that somehow you've accomplished something that seems impossible, right? Even if they don't admit it, right? So you could have them show you these or not show you. I guess it really just depends on what you would like to do, what you'd prefer to do. And then they just need to choose 10 random cards. That's all we did. And we just have those 10 random cards there, and you set these on top. And then the only initial step that we need to do is we just need to give them the choice of an under-over or an over-under mixing routine, which really does scramble the cards initially. It just puts things everywhere. And so as a reminder, so maybe this time they say under-over. So how it would work then is you just push off the top card. That's always the same. Now this next card goes under, then over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay? And now you are ready for the 2, 3, 4 routine where you freely deal them into 2 piles, left, right. And then the spectator is free to stack these however they like. The amazing thing is you can do as many of those as you like. It will not undermine the end result. It's absolutely astonishing. And the reason it doesn't is because of the stay stack principle, is what it's called, the stay stack principle. So if you're interested in understanding the mathematics for all of this, I encourage you to take a look at my Hidden Structures Boot Camp series. That's a series that is meant to ease the viewer into taking the full Hidden Structures online course where we talk about all of the underlying principles here. But you can deal into a left and right pile, random stacking, as many of those as you like. You can also deal into 3 piles in this fashion with random stacking. Well, left to right random stacking, I should say, or right to left. and then you can deal into 4 piles. How is this even possible? That you can scramble the cards to such a degree, maybe they want to go from right to left, and not undermine the ending result. Okay? And then you can do as many of those as you like, or any combination of these. So you can do a couple more 3 piles, and then a 4, and then 4 2s if you like. Okay? And then when the spectator is convinced that the cards are beyond the knowledge of anybody, especially since they are the ones making the decisions. In fact, if you trust the spectator, all of this mixing here could be done with your back turned. So you just have them deal into 2 piles, stack left on right or right on left, deal into 3 piles, stack from left to right or right to left, and the same thing for 4. They truly can. You don't have to be watching them. You're only really watching them to guide them if they make some obvious mistake, right? And then once they're done with this, you're only one magical step away from finishing this routine. To finish it, you simply take the packet and Klondike pairs to the table. So this is where you take the top and bottom card off as one and put them into pairs. Now, a note to you as the performer, you won't know which pair is their pair. So in the original performance, it was the penultimate pair, it was the second to the last that was actually their pair. So unless somebody is capable of tracking all of that, we won't know where their pair is. But the principles taught in the Hidden Structures course guarantee that their cards are together in one of these little piles. We know that for sure because of the mathematics taught there. So if you show these, you go, oh, okay, that, maybe in this case they've shown you the Queen of Hearts and King of Hearts, so both of you know kind of what you're looking for. Go, oh, no, well, that's not them. That's not them. That could be them very soon. There you go. You go, oh, boy. How did these 2 little cards stick? It must be true love here. How did they stick together through all of this randomization? Oh, those 2 10s too. And then those 2, and then these 2. Okay, very good. Okay, so that is the effect. So if you just go through and repeat the 2 or 3 steps needed at the beginning, and then just follow this 2, 3, 4, and finish with a Klondike shuffling of pairs to the table, you'll look like an absolute card wizard. You truly, truly will. It's unbelievable that this works out, despite all of the random choices made by the spectator. So thanks for watching. I hope you have fun with that effect.